Hello, my friends. This is Andy over at the Facebook Live TV show. I am shooting from my workstation, not the studio setup that I have behind me. As a matter of fact, I'm moving that. I've made space in my garage. I'm going to be going through some of the steps as I create the new studio. It's, again, going to be low cost, low maintenance, not a big deal. But I thought it'd be cool to kind of, for those, there's some of you out there that I know they're just beginning. You're actually probably just starting your Facebook Live TV shows from your phone and wondering what next steps are possible with your, creating a studio, whether it's inside your home, in the living room, in a closet. I know that Molly Mahoney often broadcasts from a closet in her house, and I used to broadcast from a closet in my old office. So whatever it is, I'm sure that there's something that I'll be able to show you that will be interesting to you in that the development of the studio itself. So today we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about creating content and some of the things that I do to be able to create content, some of the things that I use, some of the tools. And then we're going to be talking about implementation, and one of the tools I use for implementation, which all of us have available to us and many of you already use, but we're going to talk about it anyway just to make sure that you're utilizing it. Right now I want to talk about the new training video I created on creating calls to action on your Facebook Live video. And there are some people that are seeing some things that I see and that I'm going to be addressing in that training video. And that is the aspect of, I probably should have brought it up. There's always one aspect of my show that I, for whatever reason, seem to like to leave out. But you've already seen, possibly, depending on what group you're watching this in, you can be watching this in probably about 8 different Facebook groups where I simulcast into. This is originating from the Facebook Live TV show. If you want to join me on the broadcast, there's a link that I posted in the description of this particular live broadcast. Just click on that. Just make sure that your camera and mic are ready to go, and I'll see you pop up, and then I'll bring you onto the show. As soon as I make sure that you're a real person. In old Periscope days, that when I did Periscope or Blab even, you'd have those trolls come on every so often. And I had one that was a sock puppet who infiltrated one of my shows. But I'm going to share my screen here in just a second. In the mastermind, I just got to find the. So this is what I'm talking about in the calls to action in the Facebook Live. Replays that you can do, and if you can look right down here, you can see that you can add you can tag a product. You can there's another item there that says see more of my Facebook page, not my videos necessarily, and then you can change your thumbnail. So those are some of the things you can do with your replay to make it pop out with people a little bit more readily, so that they can actually either purchase something, and that's what that is. I'm tagging a product that they can purchase, and then the see more of my Facebook page is a call to action to take them to that Facebook page where the video originated from. And then on your thumbnail for your replay, you can put something in there that really calls their attention to your video. If they're scrolling through with their thumb on their phone, could cause them to stop based on what their interests are, because really, obviously, you only want people that are interested in what it is you're talking about to be part of your audience or be part of your tribe in that regard. And so what I wanted to show you, and now that you've seen what I'm talking about, in the Facebook Live producers group, I have posted the training video in our group training. Now, I have also created a video training, actually a training course on how to create these Facebook Live training programs within a Facebook group. And so this is the first video that I've added to the Facebook Live producers group, where you can see when you open up the file that you will see that the training for how to create those buttons in a Facebook Live replay and how to change the thumbnail are right now in this file in the producers group file page. And so it's a document called Producers Group Training Course. And this is a training course on how to do a Facebook Live. And this is the very first video I've added to this. Now, if I were to go to Create It, Launch It, Profit, I have 5 pages that I've created that have 3 to 4 videos on each one of the pages that have training on how to create a product and market it and sell it and that kind of stuff. So this video addresses just simply adding the CTAs to a Facebook Live replay. Now, there's a few things that are happening where sometimes those CTAs are not showing up on some pages, and I address that in this video. And then below, you can see right here, I have links to some articles that discuss why that is happening. And one of the reasons is because it's new. And so not all the bugs have been worked out, not all the pages allow it. And so it's going to take some time before that begins to happen, before everybody gets to see what those call to actions on your replay. Now, the thumbnail change, that shows up everywhere. That one I know for sure works everywhere. It's just those tagging a product. You can tag a product on a post. You can tag a product on a Facebook Live replay, on a video, on any kind of post that you've had. You can tag a product that's in your store on that Facebook page. So it is a great, great tool. So that training video is currently in the Facebook Live producers group. If you want access to that, it's I put the URL. It starts with 22S or 22 social in the description. Just click on that link. That'll take you to the gate. It's $9.99 a month to be that, which is just for this video alone is probably worth it. And you can cancel anytime you want. And that's the way that you get into that training group. But that video, it's about a 20-minute long video because I talk about how to open your store, how to put a product in the store, and then how to tag the product in a post, in a Facebook Live replay, and then some of the other tools that I use to create the graphics for the store and the product and that kind of stuff, including a little bit about Kajabi and what you need to do with Kajabi if one of the products that you have is in Kajabi. And so that training is in there. So that's what that's all about. So I want to make sure and let you all know, because there's lots of questions. People were trying to do what I was telling them to do, but they were having difficulty with understanding, why is this not showing up on my page? Well, one of the things is that it takes a while for the store to be accepted. In other words, Facebook giving it the approval that it's on there. All right, who do we have on there? Oh, I got some new names on here, and I will not be able to pronounce them. Corinder, I think that is. Just said he follows me, and that's fantastic. I'm glad. I'm happy for that. Again, he says that we do good work over here. That's good. Owen, hey Owen, what's happening, man? Nice to see you, and I'm glad that we have connected. And great topic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, Corinder, I hope that's correct. I'm sorry if Corinder tell me that I'm butchering your name. Feel free to go ahead and do that. But I apologize that. I can't pronounce. Singh is your last name. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. You're using BeLive. Yes, I'm using BeLive for my Facebook Lives. I've been using it a lot lately because now, especially, they've added so many new tools and the ability to put up the lower third with somebody's comment, or my lower third, which I can show right there, and obviously take that down. Those controls are just right there, and then I can see your comments. I love Blue Jeans. I used Blue Jeans for a long period of time, and I probably will still go back to Blue Jeans on occasion, just because of some tools that I like how that works. But it's hard to beat BeLive. BeLive gives you options like sharing your screen. Although I'm not using BeLive to share my screen, I'm using another tool called Mimo Live, but the ability to be able to do that. Yes, you said my name correct. Good. I'm glad. But BeLive, I think, is a fantastic tool. I've tried Ecamm. I've tried ManyCam. Again, I use Mimo Live, OBS. Those are OBS and Mimo Live are more broadcasting tools that allow you to also broadcast on Facebook. But BeLive right now is what I'm using. All right. So I just want to let you know about that training. Now I'm going to get into the topics here, which I already started talking about the CTA. And so I want to go ahead and show that that's the number one, that for live replays, training videos, and also any posts. I probably should have put on there. You can add product, you can tag products on your post. Now understand that they're rolling it out. So some of these things are not available for everybody on their business pages, and sometimes they're not showing up on your business pages. And I discussed that in that training video. They're showing up in groups and on personal pages, but you can tag a product on a post and on a business page. It may not show up on that business page, but when you share it to another Facebook group or your personal Facebook page, it will show up. It's just how it is right now. And again, I discussed that a little bit further in the training video in the producers group. All right, so let's go to number 2. Creating content. This is where I'm at right now. All right, so last week or 2 weeks ago, I was part of a coaching team. We created 90 number one best-selling authors in 3 days. 90 number one best-selling authors in 3 days. And so I'm on this kick about content because so many of the folks still need to get content for the book that they have become a number one bestseller for. And so the thing is, that there's tools, and I'm going to share at least a couple of them with you. There's more that I use, but the two that I'm going to show you right now, or the two I'm going to describe to you, and one I'm going to show you, have proven very powerful for me. And so, in creating content, one of the first places I go is I look through some of the emails where I've responded to people's questions about whatever the topic is. So let's say I own a dog training business, as many of you know, and so I have 20 something years. I don't even know how long we've been using email, but 10, 15 years, maybe longer. I probably should know that stat, but you can go through, and I have not. I have like 33,000 emails I haven't even read yet that's listed on my email server. Actually, let me look and see if it actually says here. I know it says on my phone, so I don't throw away anything. And so I'm sorry, I just wanted to look now. Oh, well, right now it's only showing 4,845. So that's how many I have not read yet. So there's a lot of questions that are in there. So it allows me to read what people want to know, right? If somebody's asking me a question about a dog problem or a dog issue, that's important to know because that's what my audience wants, right? That's what they want to know. And so going to your your email, and not only the emails you receive, but to your responses, because sometimes I had like 2 pages of response sometimes to, people that were asking questions about a specific dog issue. And I was able to take some of those emails, many of those emails, not just some, many of those, and I created almost a whole book out of email responses in regard to detection dogs. For instance, I have a book called the Detection Dog Manual, and much of the content is from emails that I sent to detection dog handlers. And of course, you have to edit a little bit. You have to add some stuff. When you have a good editor who says, you know what, you're missing something in this particular chapter, it would be great if you can fill in the gaps. If you have a good editor that helps you with that kind of stuff, it's fantastic because you just plug in the emails and you put them where you think they're going to go, and in a way that makes sense to somebody, most people, but because you know the subject so well, you're filling the gaps with what's on your mind, right? So you need somebody else. So you're going to need an editor who's going to look through it from a different perspective, a different point of view, maybe of somebody that has never worked with a dog before. If we're talking about social media marketing, somebody that's never done social media marketing before. And that's one of the things we forget, right? We get so much into our groups and the people we communicate with that are in our circle of social media marketers or live casters or whatever it is, and we begin to think, well, everybody knows how to click the button to go live on Facebook, so we're just going to skip over that and just go right to, how do we use the 920 Logitech, webcam and use the adjustment on the app, right? We jump right to that, and people go, wait, I'm not connected to, I don't know how to connect to Facebook. I don't know what tool to connect to Facebook. I don't know if I should go live from the Facebook app, or should I do it from a third-party application? And so sometimes we have to have somebody else look at it and say, wait a minute, I understand what you're trying to say, but I'm not sure how you got there. So I think a good first 1 or 2 paragraphs on how you get there to that third paragraph would be a great place to go. So using your emails, putting them in an order that makes sense. For the most part, getting a good editor can help you plug in some of the gaps. All right, so that's one of the tools that I use, in addition to adding information where I even myself think that there's some gaps and that kind of stuff. So that's one source. Another source, and I'm going to bring it up first here on my my page before I show you, and that is using Google. Oops. Bye. Is using Google Alerts. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong place here in my Mimo Live. All right, and so Google Alerts, and so you can find that if you don't already know about it at google.com/alerts, and then it has a hashtag, I don't know, or a number symbol, and so or just type in Google space alerts and just click on the very first option that comes up in a Google search. And here's where you get your Google alerts and gurgle. All right, let me actually go back. And so this is not what it looks like. That's after you've set the Google alert. There you go. All right. So I was just practicing for a video that I was doing a training video on. So Google Alerts is where you place these. And so right now I have Google Alerts that go to my personal email address. And one of the alerts is for Facebook, Facebook marketing, social media marketing, Facebook Live, my name. You want an alert for your name. Anytime somebody writes something about you, it could be good or bad, you're going to want to know about it. Live video streaming and social media marketing. So those are all the subject matter that I have coming to this email address, Falco@gmail.com. And then what it looks like when it comes to you is like so. All right, so you get an email. And so I at the top, I've used my search to just find all the Google alerts. And these are all the Google alerts that come. It comes in an email. And you click on it, and for that particular hour of that day, so this came in 5 hours ago, and you get all the information that at least Google Alerts gets alerted to in regard to first live video streaming. China bans streaming video as it struggles to keep up with live content. That's interesting to know. Wow, that's pretty cool. And so cell phone video stream leads to arrest in Fremont. Another good one to know. Cell phone video streaming, there's a repeat probably from a different newspaper article. Facebook stream live champions, Champions League soccer deal with Fox. Twitter has aggressively pursued the rights of stream games of all kinds, has committed to live video programming 24 hours a day. Nice. See, this is really good information for us live streamers, if that's what you're in, the live streaming business. Is that the site? I'm sorry, I'm reading Corinders is like on fire with the comments. I can't keep up with all the comments. I'll try to get back to you, Corinder, in just 1 second. Social media tools and applications. So those are all the ones that come up under that. And usually there's going to be a few more. Oh, that's social media marketing, right? And then Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And so what I like to do with that information as it comes in is I like to see what people are talking about. Again, being relevant, whether it's on these Facebook Lives that you're doing. If I were to come on Facebook Live and say, what I really like are Sony Walkmans, and I think they're fantastic. The cassettes go in there, and you can rewind and fast forward and begin. I'm not being very relevant, right? That's an obvious, error on my part if I was actually trying to do that, right? So, and I'm being extreme, but you want to be relevant. In the case of our world as it stands right now, is that you have to be up to the hour relevant if you are going to have an audience. And again, and I say this, but there are people that still, think dial-up is how you get on the internet, right? So we know there's people like that, and we've dealt with them. The 90 people that we dealt with this time were actually a little bit more educated than the previous bunch of folks we had. We had about 100 people that we created #1 best-selling authors about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. And there were people there that didn't know how to turn on a computer. So trust me, I know that there's people still living in the dark ages. However, you still want to be relevant in what's happening today, because if you're teaching something, it may not, if you're not relevant to what's happening today, something like if you're talking about Blab was very hot for a little while. Blab was fantastic. Blab is live streaming and all that kind of stuff. But if you're still teaching stuff about Blab, you've missed the boat. I mean, that's how quickly things change, and it is gone. It no longer exists. And I was just using it less than a year ago, I think, or so, but not that long ago. So using Google Alerts allows you to create content that's relevant. And I'm not telling you you need to copy, cut and paste what it is they're writing on there, but read the article, know what's happening, and then write your information based on that and knowing. So if I was going to take that, using call to actions on your post and not actually use it and find out what's happening based on what the feedback is I'm getting, it's hard for me to help you, right? As a content creator, it's going to be hard for me to help you if I'm not understanding that, it doesn't work on all the pages, right? And address that, fairly quickly, because when I did describe it earlier, obviously I did not know that then. Again, it's so new that I had to look it up and try it and see what was happening. And in the training video, I show you how I go on the different types of pages where it shows up and doesn't show up and describe it. But that way people feel like, oh gosh, I thought it was me. I thought maybe Facebook was holding something back on me. I was afraid that somebody wasn't, telling me all the information, right? And so that is important. So being up to date, using Google Alerts, and go through it like a newspaper, like you would the newspaper in the morning. Some of you that are older remember what a newspaper is. It would come to your driveway. You'd go out and get it. You'd open up and you'd be relevant up to what's happened in the last 48 hours to 24 hours because it takes time to get the information to the editor. The editor has to edit it, then they have to put it in the paper, then they have to print it, and then get it to your house, right? So it's hours old. Now things are seconds old, half a second old, and so we need to be up to date. All right, let me look and see what we have here as far as questions or comments. How do I create my own alert? I think that was at 1348. So actually, I'll go through the process right here real quick. All right. So just from a standpoint of if you have never done it before, just type in Google alerts in the search engine, hit enter, and you will see here that the very first thing that comes up here for me is Google Alerts, monitor the web for interesting new content. You click on that. I'm sorry, my computer's so slow. I'm actually hardwired into the modem, so I don't know why it's so slow today, even though I'm hardwired. And you won't obviously have all these listed here below. You'll have me on the web, and then probably alert suggestions, which are all these down here. Beyonce. Yeah, I definitely want to know what Beyonce is doing. Okay, so all this will my alerts. It'll say my alerts, and it'll all be blank. Up here, you're just going to type in your alert. So let's do YouTube Live. Oops. I'm sorry, I'm trying to type around my microphone, which is right in front of me. So if you hear me hitting it and I'm not able to type, then that's what it is. So once you hit YouTube Live, now you can look down here and see some current information that's coming up regarding YouTube TV, YouTube Live, and that kind of stuff. I don't even know why I don't have this as an alert. I'm glad you asked. And then you hit this button that says Create Alert, and now it is in Create Alert. And so now it's on my list of YouTube Live. So the next time, which is I think at 5 o'clock this evening when the alerts come, it's twice a day, I believe. In my email, I will get an alert. So 8:04 a.m. on that day. I thought maybe it's just one a day. So it looks like it's 22nd, 23rd, 20th. Yeah, one a day. In the morning at 8 o'clock, I will get an alert tomorrow morning, which will include Facebook or YouTube Live. Now, all the information that I need to know about Facebook Live that's happening at that moment when the alert hits. All right. Hope that answered your question there, Corinder. Nice. All right. Blab was great. Yeah, I like Blab too. Blab was good, but it just got its butt kicked by when Twitter got bought by Periscope. Twitter bought Periscope. Yo, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, which really for me does not work. How can you change the time? Need to put back. Paul Easton asks. I need to put back. I'm not sure how to change time. So let's see what the edit is. Edit. Okay, here you hit that edit button. At most once a day. Oh, there we go. As it happens. Hey, let's do what? As it happens. So you have a choice. As it happens, at most once a day, at most once a week. So I'm going to do as it happens for YouTube Live. Sources, automatic. So automatic, I believe, is all of them. English, any region, only the best results. Let's do all results. I'm going to see what that looks like. I'm glad you asked, because here I am going into some of the options. Now, it doesn't give me a time option. So I guess as it happens covers it so that it'll come in as soon as that news hits, which means you're going to get a lot of emails. So be prepared for a lot of emails. I think one of the reasons I chose to do it most once a day is because I was afraid. I already have problems with emails as it is. And oops, I didn't share my screen. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right, let me go back. All right. Sorry. Didn't share my screen. Okay, so YouTube Live, you're going to hit the pencil button right here. Click on that. Then here you go, at most once a day. I'm going to do an as it happens and just see. I'm going to test it out for a couple days and see what happens. You have automatic, which is all of the under, right? Not just blogs, not just videos. English, any region. So you can have all these countries you can select, but I'm going to check any region. I want to know what's happening all over the world in regard to live, Facebook Live. Only the best results. And let's do all results just to see how that looks different. And then you're going to update the alert. So that's that alert. That one single alert has been updated. Let's do mine. And let's do as it happens. And let's do all results. Oh, and look at there, you can see some of my videos. Brea Company to train Bahrain's police dogs. That's me. Andy Falco has been contracted by the Kingdom of Bahrain to train. So if anybody doubted that story that you hear Mike Koenigs tell all the time, there's the story that I think, ABC 7 Los Angeles did that story on me. Man shot while parking his girlfriend's car. That is not me. I was not in Philadelphia. That's Tim Jimenez. So that's the trouble when you go to all results, is that and there's Falco. So you'll get some different stuff possibly when you do all results. So be careful. I would just test it out and then monitor it and then change it as you need to change it. All right. So let's go ahead and close that out. So those two tools right there. Check your email. And again, we're on the content subject, right? Let me go back to my thing. So in regard to the content subject, you have your emails right now. And again, these are not the only ways to create content. These are just two very powerful ones that I use that I think are two of my favorites. And then Google Alerts to find out what's happening now, to stay relevant, to make sure that you put the most relevant information, especially if you're writing a book, because the book will only be relevant as long as that information is relevant, right? As soon as it changes, which actually is a good thing, is that each year you can update it and have a brand new #1 best-selling author or a #1 best-selling book in 2018. So if you write a book in 2017, and then by the time 2018 hits, there's new information, you can rewrite or add information to the book and have a new version. The 2018 version, take it to the #1 best-selling artist, and now you're a 2-time #1 best-selling author. Sound good? All right. And I never use these buttons here to check that I'm actually done with it. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's see if there's any more questions on create. I have Be Live interview on Facebook, which the other person who can't make the call. I want to change the start date in Facebook video. Hope that, okay, I got you now. Oh, that's different. I don't know that you can. Good question. I will have to find out. I'm not afraid to say that I don't know, because I don't have any way of checking it right now because this one is live currently. Let me see. I don't think that I don't know that you can. If anybody's on that knows the answer to that question, that would be fantastic to help Paul Easton down to work on it. I'm trying to think. There's times when I've had people that for whatever something changed, and so I went ahead on that time and did the broadcast and said we're going to be back in 30 minutes with our guest who got hung up at work or got hung up with got hung up with something, and we need to change it, and then just start the broadcast again fresh. That'll leave you from having to explain at the beginning of the video why you started late or what's happening, because now you'll have a fresh video, especially if you're going to repurpose it. You won't have to edit it. Now you're starting, here we are, and we are live with who do I see? I'm in front. Carmen Johnson. And Carmen is here. She's a #1 best-selling author on social media marketing. Welcome, Carmen. And then you go into your talk, and you don't have to explain anything necessarily, but that is good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Paul. I don't know the answer to that. If you can actually change that time, I believe it creates that live stream, and there might be something in that live stream that if you change it now, it has to create a new live stream. Is my belief, but that's a really good question. I'm gonna have to definitely look into that. So that's what I think. So I think just going live, saying, hey, we're gonna be back, and we'll do it in another day or another time or in a half an hour, whatever it is, and just letting people know. Right? This is live. This is Facebook Live, and people are so much more forgiving. And you can see me fumbling around and clicking on the wrong things and that kind of stuff. At some point, it happens on real TV. We want to believe, that's the one thing. And I know I'm getting off subject here, but thank you, Paul. But what happens is that, some of us are just hitting this live stream for the first time and thinking we have to be this perfect professional. Just watch television for just any live television, any live news, and things happen all the time. YouTube is full of what are they called? Not bobbles, but what do you call those things? Bloopers of newscasters that didn't know their mic was hot, or stumbled over the words, or passed out in the middle of a thing. So don't worry about it. It's something that happens. Let your audience know what's going on, and then come back and just do it again. But that is a good question, and I will definitely look into it and see what's happening. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that. Create content. Look at that. It just That's pretty cool. I love Be Live. I love Be Live TV. What you don't see me doing back here is there's actually a spot to check things off as you've taken care of them on the agenda. It is so great. So now take action today. Taking action today is my my mantra, not for just you, my audience that's watching now. It's something that I'm really encouraging the people that, again, that we helped create those books a couple weeks ago, is that sometimes what can happen is that you get this #1 best-selling status, and now you still have to write the content or get more content for stuff that you've already provided, and you're creating a Facebook page based on your book, or you're creating a product based on your book. The thing is, sometimes we sit back and just go, okay, you know what, I'll start doing that next week. Or, I'm going to go, I'm going to, spend some time with the kids and then do it. The problem is that time, and some people aren't like me. Some people can just begin at a moment's notice. If too much time goes between maybe the thought of doing something and then actually taking action, it gets harder and harder as time goes on to begin to take action based on the energy you had when you came up with the idea, right? Or you got the inspiration from a video you saw, or some of us go like to a Tony Robbins event and we're all inspired, right? And we come home and we go, you know what, next weekend I'm going to start everything that Tony Robbins told me to do, right? And then 3 days goes by, and then pretty soon, Tony Robbins, who? What was that I learned? And now you're trying to go through your notes. I forget what it was that he said. Yeah, there's something that he said. I can't remember. Forget about it. I'm going to do something else. And so you can see with time, our memory gets weakened, the motivation gets weakened, the inspiration of somebody's talk gets less and less and less. And oh yeah, I saw that guy. What was his name? He was really good. And that you got to take action today, whatever that is, right? And so if anything that I said about creating content or putting call to actions on your Facebook posts or your Facebook Live replays, do it. When we get done, begin the actions of doing it, whether it's creating the graphics for it, or checking your email to see if, hey, maybe there are some emails where I had a long discussion or responded to somebody's email with information that I think could be useful in a book. I'm going to do those Google alerts right now. As a matter of fact, while Andy's talking right now, I'm going to go, search for Google alerts and begin to put a couple of Google alerts in there. And that is what it is that you want to do. All right. So you want to begin the process quickly as it hits you. Take notes. I love journaling. I have a journal next to my bed. I have a journal in my backpack. I have a journal in my truck, right? I also have an iPad, which I like to put iPad or notes on my iPad, the Notes app. And so I have all ways to make sure and put information down so that I can take action as soon as I stop the car, as soon as the sun gets up after the middle of the night. I wake up in the middle of the night often because I get this, I got to do that. I forgot. I want to make sure, I don't want to forget. And I want to make sure that I do that when I get up. I want to create that graphic for that Facebook posting, which really is going to tell people about the training that I have available in the producers group or in the Create It, Launch It, Profit group. Whatever it is, you take a note, you journal it so that when you get up in the morning, you review what it is you had thought about the night before and take action. I'm going to show you one more thing. This is, I made this yesterday for another group that I'm a part of, and it is my calendar. And I was just sharing with the group. It's called was it You Everywhere Now? It's the concept that you need to be everywhere, which we can, right? We can be on, we can have a book, we can be on stage, we can have a podcast, we can have a Facebook Live, we can have a YouTube Live, Instagram Live, and that the concept of being everywhere now is a group. Mike Koenigs and Ed Rush head that up, and it's fantastic. So it was in that group that I said, I'm going to share my calendar so I can show you how I schedule my ability to take action. So the thing that you want to see for the most part is the blue. The blue is I've scheduled out time to do stuff. So content creation, I had available about 4 or 5 hours to dedicate to just content creation. And then I think there was a Facebook Live that I was doing. And so I actually scheduled these things out, and I can't read them all because what I have open is very, very small. Let me actually move my screen over to the other monitor. Oh my gosh, where is it? All right, I'm gonna move it over so I can see a little bit better. So I have Facebook Lives listed. The green is time with my kids. So I'm a single dad. I got 5 kids. 4 of them are still at home. 4 of them are young, 3, 6, 9, and 11. And then I have a 23-year-old who lives very close and works right across the street. So in the green, those are the times that I've slated out. I've calendared it, so that that's the time that I spend with my kids. So Sunday all day long, and then on the evening on Tuesdays and Wednesdays until the following mornings, and then Saturday all day long. I do have a webcast that I do in the time that I have the kids, and they actually sometimes will join me and have fun on that. And so I've scheduled the content creation. I've scheduled the time with the family, the kids, so that it all can just get done. I didn't used to do this at all, but that's what my calendar looks like for this week, right? Every minute is kind of taken up. Doesn't necessarily mean I need to be typing. Content creation could be just sitting and thinking, just concentrating on something and waiting for the inspirations for a good idea, surfing the web, looking at Google alerts, and just meditating perhaps on something and just waiting for, again, inspiration, or just simply typing. There is another concept that I often tell people about that works for me too. It's like one of my third go-to things, and that is that I will go somewhere and stay in a hotel. I've actually stayed in a hotel in the same city I live in so that I get away from everything, every distraction, and just be in a nice hotel room, with no kids running around, no dogs barking. I turn off my cell phone and I just type. I've written 2 books in a hotel room over a 3-day period. One was in San Diego and one was in that hotel, which I live in Brea, and the hotel was in Brea. I was literally less than a mile away from my house. And it just works. It happens. It sounds strange and maybe very weird to you, but it works for me. And so that is a very powerful tool for getting it done, taking action today. And that's the thing that you need to figure out what works for you. And that is what works for me. All right. So, Corinder, good. Can people work for Facebook Live TV show? Oh, do you want to work for us? I am it. I am the Facebook Live TV show. That's good. I don't know. What do you got to offer? Send me a private message. Let me know what it is that you do. Maybe you can do research or something like that for the show. That would be awesome, Corinder. I don't know where you live. So I don't know that you could operate the camera or anything like that, or actually do the broadcasting. If you don't know, I wish I could share my whole screen. So I have a screen right in front of me, right? It's a Mac, whatchamacallit. And then on the right is a monitor that's connected to this particular Mac. So I can move my Mimo Live broadcasting software to this screen. And that's why you see me look to the right every so often, because I'm clicking on the buttons that allow me to go from the picture-in-picture shows up to a placer, and close that down to this placer. And then what is on this placer? I don't even know what this is. Oh, presentations in Mimo Live. I don't even know why that's up there. I know what that belongs to. A station logo, which is the Facebook Live, which I don't have up right now because with Be Live, they now have the, where is it? Hold on. There it is. So there is my logo now. That's on Be Live. That's no longer in my Mimo Live. This one is the one I have in the Mimo Live. You can see it pop up here. So it's right there. This is Mimo Live. This one here, I'm moving my finger. And this is Be Live. All right, 2 different softwares. And so, yeah, I mean, I have that. Then I have my Be Live, which is on this screen. And then to my left, I have Facebook open. So if I were to go to my placer here and go live, you're seeing just the window that has Facebook on it. But on my screen, on one screen, I have 2 things: Be Live that I can see, and my Facebook page. And then on the other screen, I have the Mimo Live, which has all of the sources, the layer stacks, and the ability to click and go live on either one of those things. So I'm doing this all by myself. So it would be nice, Corinder, if you were here operating Mimo Live, and I could say, okay, let's go to Facebook, and you click on go live to Facebook. Let's go to the calendar, so I can show you what my calendar looks like, and you would click on that. And then if I had that wild hair to look at something new, I would say, you know what, I want to look at this other page, the Mastermind Retreat, so that I could show you what it looks like when you have the call to action. Then you would be doing that while I'm busy still talking and staying focused, and not having to try to talk while doing that at the same time. I've gotten better at it. I can't say that I'm fantastic at it, but I am better at it. And so you can kind of imagine that there's all these things that are kind of going on here all at the same time, trying to keep it, and then read the comments. Right. All right. Oh, you're in London. Ah, well, I'd love to go to London. The only time I've been to London is at the airport. I don't think that I've ever gotten outside the airport in London. I've been there probably 10 times. I've been to London 10 times, never been outside the airport. I've slept in the airport because one time I was coming back from the Slovak Republic. We got stranded there in London with these dogs, and I had to sleep there for, I think, about like 7 hours or something like that, or stay there for 7 hours, and I ended up sleeping on the floor there in Heathrow. Yeah, that's the only time I've been to London, unfortunately. Do you use that green screen? Yes, I use that green screen a lot. If you were to go to my let me see. I'll bring up one really quick. You have a lot of good questions there. I'm glad you joined us, Grinder. You have so many speaking points that are interesting. Are you new to Facebook Live or live broadcasting? It's just interesting to know who the audience is and what it is that they're experiencing. So that would be very, very good to know. Let's see, Falco Canine Academy's Facebook page. I have so many Facebook pages. Okay, so I'm going to show you, just because you asked. And my other mouse is broken, so if you're hearing a lot of mouse ruckus, it's because I'm having to use an old-fashioned wired mouse that uses a wheel that makes a lot of noise. Hear that clicking? That's the wheel on the mouse that's making that loud noise. All right, so just trying to bring up a broadcast. So if you go to Falco Canine Academy Facebook page, let me see if I can actually put that in the comments here. That's the other great thing about this. I can put, it's on screen. So you can see what I do there. I did a broadcast from a store. Sorry, I'm looking at all the stuff that I have here. So I'll share my screen here. So do you see that gray wooden background in the back? That's actually my green screen that is behind me. that wood is a picture of wood. I'm actually going to put wood background in the studio that's in my garage, and so that'll be there. But that gray background that you see there is actually this green screen right there, and I just have it. I can change that to just about anything. I don't think that I have many different backgrounds. Let's see if I have a different background here. Sometimes I put my blue little star looking thing that looks like just powers of social media marketing is just emitting from my presence, which is really not the case. I just want to give that impression. All right. My finger's getting tired from trying to scroll through the stuff because it's just not wanting to scroll. Oh, here's a good one. I'll show you right away. Yeah, that's the Facebook page or site. I'm not sure if you're using that in the same way. So that is still the green screen. There's a dog behind me. You can barely see him. I'm blocking his face with the clouds and the grass, but it looks like I'm out in the field. That's my green screen that's behind me right now. And so, yeah, I use the green screen a lot. I'm going to move that all into the garage. And now you saw the watermark now for Be Live. Oops, you can't see it. That's probably hard to see it. So right over my left-hand shoulder on the right-hand upper corner, that's the old logo that Be Live TV would have, the watermark. But now that you pay for it, that watermark is no longer there. And now my logo is there, my watermark, which is right. I was going so far. It's right there. All right, that's on BeLive.tv. Yeah, so Corinne, that's faith. That's I'm not sure if you're into dogs or not, but at least what you can see in the on the Falco Canine Academy Facebook page is that I'm using everything I'm teaching you how to use, but I'm using it in a niche of dog training. And so you can see I'm applying what it is I'm teaching you in my own business, which is not social media marketing. Does that make sense? So if you want to see how I'm using it and the things that I'm doing, then that's maybe one way you want to see, hey, let me just see who actually uses it. And you can see that I have videos of me doing demonstrations. You have videos where I'm actually teaching using a PowerPoint presentation about dog training. I'm actually doing a demonstration with a dog using my phone as the broadcasting tool. And then I'm at a store, as I was yesterday, interviewing. Oh, actually, I didn't interview anybody. I tried to interview the manager, but she wouldn't come on television. But I was broadcasting live in the field from a store and describing some of the good products that they had there. And which is great about that is now they share that on their social media platforms, whatever that may be. If it could be Twitter, Facebook, of course, and Instagram and all those kinds of things. And so I'm getting in front of their audience because now I'm broadcasting from their store. What software you use for green screen? I use Wirecast. Wirecast is great. Wirecast is good. I don't use Wirecast because I have had bad experiences with Wirecast. Now, other people love it, right? And so my preference is not to use it because it takes me back about 6 years ago. Maybe that's too long ago. Maybe it was about 4 or 5 years ago, where I was going to speak to a large audience of attorneys regarding dogs. And I had done pre-marketing. I had filled, the event, the webcast with a lot of people all over the United States and even Canada. They had given breaks to some of their attorneys in some of the offices to get together inside of a break room or in a meeting room and watch my broadcast on a television where it was going to be broadcast. So in some rooms, there were like 9 people in an attorney's office where I was going to speak to them about dog cases, about dog sniff cases. And I was using Wirecast. It was brand new. And of course, I didn't want to just broadcast my face, right? I wanted to have all kinds of bells and whistles and transitions and multiple cameras and all this kind of stuff. I had never done a broadcast on my own. And as usual, as I'm doing here, I'm doing it all by myself, right? And so Wirecast immediately froze up and crashed. And I tried to get back on. It wasn't as easy. I forget what I was using then. I think I was using Webinar Jam. I think I was using Webinar Jam. I was using Wirecast, which they used a Google Hangout at that time, was very unstable. On top of that, Wirecast was using tons of resources. And the camera that I was using went to sleep because it had been on too long. And so just a mess. And I was sweaty and I was just so upset. So that's a long description of why I don't use Wirecast, but I love Mimo Live. I can probably share Mimo Live, what it looks like on the inside, if you're even interested. Some people are, some people aren't. It'll look funny. Now, it always looks funny to share because now you see the multiple cameras, but here you go anyway. So this is what Mimo Live looks like. On the very left-hand column are all the resources. You see that my calendar's over there. The Facebook Live icon is there. Mimo Live logo is there. I don't know why that's there. And then some other graphics, right, in my video, my opening video. And then on the second column, as you're going down, is the layer stack. And those are the things that operate what it is that I'm going to be doing. So if I want to do the next thing is show my window, I'm going to have that and have it go live. If I want to show my calendar, that will be present. And then when I want it to go live, then I'll click on the live button, which when it's live is red and when it's not is gray. And then there's that other button there, my station logo. And what is this? Oh, that's my camera. And so that's the camera that is available. And then here's my opening that I played for you. So that's all in the layer stack. And then this middle column is what it's going to look like when I go live. And of course, next after that is when it actually goes live. All right, so that is Mimo Live. That is my broadcasting software that I like to use. Let me go ahead and get out of that. There we go. And now we're back to this camera over here. All right, so I hope that, how much is that software and what's the name of that you're showing? Okay, it is called Mimo Live. Let me see if I got a link handy. I'm sure I do. I hope this is interesting to other people that are watching. I noticed that there's other people watching and they're on. So I've gone off topic, but that's my norm. At the end of a broadcast, I tend to trail off and talk about a few other things. I'm just looking for the URL that I use to give out. Let's see. And I want to use and everybody that's in marketing should want to use an affiliate code, and I don't know. Yeah, so what I'm going to give you here is an affiliate code for Mimo Live. It still should be good. Boinks is the name of the company. Copy link, and I'm going to paste it right here. So Boinks is the name of the company. Boinks makes Mimo Live. How much is it? I don't know. That is a very, very good question. It's not that expensive. I think Wirecast is a lot more expensive. So for what I like about Boinks is they have one of the better support support offices, or what do you call it, support teams, and respond fairly well. Not the best, but they're definitely not the worst. They're up there in as far as, sorry. Here I am trying to do the things that I tell people not to do. Try not to do too many things at the same time. But here I am doing it anyway. Oh, come on, Boinks. Give me what I want here. I just want Boinks. All right. I'm trying to find the price there for my friend who has a, oops, wrong one. Oops. There we go. Boinks software. All right, here we are. So I'm in Boinks. Photo Magic. Oh, here we go. Mimo Live. All right. Wow. Finally found it. So Mimo Live, they make a couple other really good tools. I've used a couple of them. Some have been great. Others have not been fantastic. But I do like the company. I believe I think they are probably in India or something like that. I've never talked to anybody that doesn't have an accent, which doesn't necessarily make me feel one way or another. After all, Be Live is a fantastic organization out of Israel. Yeah, so it's a $199 a year for the personal education commercial. I use the personal education. That gives me all the tools that I need. You don't need to spend the $700 for the commercial. Now, if you plan on doing, I guess, whatever it takes to do that, I'm not sure. It looks like it's the same. Use at events for company, TV at church to record lectures at universities and other commercial purposes. All right. So if you're doing that, then the $699 would be worth it. But at $199, you get a really good platform that is, they're updating all the time, which is good and bad, I guess, for some, but they're always wanting to make it better. They're always, if there's a problem, if it crashes or whatever, then, they want to make sure and fix that. Is it for Windows as well, or only for a Mac? You know what? That's a good question. I believe it's maybe just for, no, I think it's for both. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, yep. See, I spent all that time on it, and I don't know that they make one for PC. Come to think of it. Good question. I used to know the answer because I remember doing a subject on one of the shows about what software I use works on both Macs and PC, like Camtasia, which had two different versions, one for a Mac, one for a PC. They were different, but now they have one version or one platform for Camtasia that's fantastic for both and has the same. It's the same for both. Yeah, well, I don't see. I think it is for a Mac, unfortunately. I don't know that they have one for a PC. Sorry, but you might as well check. Might as well check and go on there. Just go on Boinks, click on that link that I gave you, and just see if there's one for a PC, or call them. Because I know maybe at the time that they only had one for a Mac. If not, then OBS works just fine. If you want a free software platform, then OBS is a great source. OBS. Let's see if you haven't heard of that. And Wirecast is good. Again, I'm not trying to tell you to stop using Wirecast. My friend John McCabe, he uses Wirecast and loves it, and I believe a couple other of my students. Oops, I just did the wrong thing. Love a Wirecast. It was just not a friend to me on that particular day, and like pizza with pineapple. Pizza with pineapple. When I was a kid, I think I was about 6 or so, maybe younger. I had my tonsils taken out. And I think we had pineapple pizza, and it opened up the sutures in my tonsils, and I nearly bled to death. And I cannot eat pepperoni and pineapple pizza. Right? And so it has affected me forever. I remember going to a party in high school and we had Southern Comfort. I cannot smell Southern Comfort without it taking me back to that party on the beach and how sick I was for 2 days with alcohol poisoning. I was miserable. And so that's the thing with Wirecast. I'm sure it's a great platform. I'm sure there's lots of improvements if it needed improving, and works perfectly for many of you. But for me on that day, it affected me because it was so devastating for me. I just put up obsproject.com. That's for OBS. It's free. I believe it's still free. I don't see where it's asking us to pay. I used OBS before I used Mimo Live. And I like OBS. It's easy to use. You can go live directly from OBS, just like you can go live directly from Mimo Live. You can just go live from that platform. You can just go live from OBS. There's just a couple extra steps you have to take to do it, but you can. And they may have made it easier. I haven't used it in so long, I don't even know. You can use it with Twitch. You can use it with Hitbox, YouTube Gaming. That's OBS. And again, it's a pretty easy to use, stable software. So it works out very well. All right. So I think that is it. I've gone off track far enough. I want to thank Karinder for being a part of this broadcast. A lot of good information, a lot of interaction, and I do appreciate it. He's given a shout out, I guess, to Stephen Haywood, or you work for him, one of the two. I'll go ahead and bring that up there. The Buzz, is that something you're doing a plug for the Tech Buzz, the Tech Buzz. All right, I'll have to check that out. That name sounds familiar. I might know Stephen, and on some level, not maybe personally or gone to dinner with him, but that Stephen Haywood sounds familiar. Yeah, I know a friend who works for Wirecast. Oh, Wirecast, very good. So I'd be interested to know more about Wirecast, and probably should get back into it and just see, since I'm doing these, trying to test out as many of the platforms and make sure that I know about them. I should go back to Wirecast and just get past my fears and, get the sweats for a little while as I'm getting into it. But it's something I probably should get back into. So I appreciate the little bit of a nudge there from Karinder, whether it was on purpose or not. All right. And thanks to everybody else who joined us today. Who else was on here? There was Paul. Appreciate it. You joining us, Easton. And Owen, again, thank you for joining us. Hope this was helpful. The three subjects were, just implementation, getting it done now, taking action. Content, creating content is, there's ways of doing it. You don't want to look at it as a chore. You want to do your best to look at it as fun and use some of the stuff you've already created so you don't have to retype everything out. It'll just give you a little bit of a shortcut to getting to the end. And then the video for creating a call to action for your Facebook Live replays is now in the producers group. It's all there, a 20-minute video on the training on how to create the product in the store, and then how to get it to be tagged on your posts, and some of the things you need to know, and then some related articles are all on that page, and you'll be able to find those very easily just by clicking on the link. All right, hope that was helpful. Again, thank you to everybody who joined us, and I will talk to you later. This is Andy over at the Facebook Live TV show, and I will see you at the next one. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.